Hello, hello. Mel here again, VA Leadership Academy coach, alum, and client experience lead. Welcome to your calendar and inbox management training. Honestly, one of my personal favorites. Let's jump right in. I know at first this might seem like simple admin work, moving emails into folders, scheduling calls, adding a little color coding. But here's the thing, this work is so much bigger than that. Every business owner lives in their calendar and inbox. These two tools basically run their world. And without systems in place, things get missed, opportunities fall through the cracks, and they end up feeling constantly behind. When you set up a clean, professional calendar and a streamlined inbox, you're giving your client so much more than organization. You're giving them peace of mind, focus, and the ability to stay in their zone of genius while you filter through the noise for them. That's the real value of this project. It's not just scheduling, it's helping your client show up at their best. In this project, we will create a color-coded calendar so your client can instantly see what type of task or appointment is happening, organize an email inbox with labels and folders so important emails never get lost, and set up email templates to save time answering frequently asked questions. Make sure you have access to a Google account with Gmail and Google Calendar. Example categories for events. We're going to use client meetings, team meetings, marketing/content, and personal, and also a sample inbox with a few mock emails to organize. When you're done, you'll walk away with screenshots of a polished calendar and inbox system, a deliverable you can show to your future clients in your portfolio. Let's do it. All right, welcome to the calendar and inbox management walkthrough for this project. We are going to be setting up a professional calendar and organizing an inbox using Google Workspace. And I'm going to continue to use my fictional health coach, busy and fit mom life, because honestly, this project is especially helpful for clients like our health coach example, like my fictional health coach example that I've been using. She's going to have multiple types of appointments, right? There's going to be, one-to-one client calls. Maybe she'll do some like group sessions on her social media. She might do some live trainings, and then she's going to have her own personal commitments, right? And so we're going to create a clear system in place so nothing slips through the crack. There's no overwhelm, and everything is clear and set up and ready to use. Okay, so right now I'm in Google Calendar. And, a good way to get there, because I know I just happen to have the screen open, is if you're in your inbox and you click on up here, this grid here for the apps, there's where you can find your calendar. Okay, so, oh, and I guess another way too is if you like have your calendar here and then you can pull it up with this button here, open that up as well. So just another way to show you. Okay, so to get started, we are going to create multiple calendars. That way they can all be different colors for different events, appointments, scheduled items. Okay, so I already have these ones on here, but we're going to do a client meetings, team meetings, marketing content, and personal. So you're going to go over here on the left side here, and by this other calendars, you're going to click on this other plus sign here, and we're going to create a new calendar. And I'm going to call this client meetings. Go ahead and call it create calendar. And then I'll fix the colors once we get all of them added. So we're also going to add team meetings. And marketing/content. You could add a description if you wanted to. But I think that for this purpose, the titles are pretty self-explanatory. And then personal. You can see them showing up here on the left here. Okay, perfect. Then I'm going to get out of settings here and you can see them on the side. And I'm going to go ahead and change the colors. For instance, I'm just going to say I want my client meetings to be in red. And then I want marketing. Where's my team meetings? Oh, down here. I wonder, can I move? Nope. Okay. sorry, marketing and content, let's have that be purple. And personal, we're going to have that be yellow. And team meetings, we're going to have that be orange. Okay. And then if you wanted to hide the calendars, or if you didn't want them to be shown on here, you can uncheck them. Okay. So now I'm just going to add a few examples and you can see how they color code on here. All right. So let's say we want to have, hmm, let's say we want to have on Monday, we're going to have our meal prep challenge kickoff call. And this is where you could add in guests if you had any. This is where you can add your Zoom link, or if you're going to do Google Meet, whichever you prefer. And then this is where you can change which calendar you want it to be under. So this is going to be the kickoff calls. So we'll keep that under client meetings. And then we're going to have it be, we'll just keep it from 10 to 11 a.m. Save. Shows up there. All right, let's also say Monday afternoon, I need to make sure that I get to my dentist appointment. This is going to be personal. And yep, we'll just say it's from 4 to 5. Save. All right, and then Tuesdays is going to be full of one-to-one calls. So we're going to have one starting here. So we're just going to say client 1, coaching call. This is again, client meetings. And then we have another one at 12. Let's say this is client 2, coaching call. And another one we'll do it 2. Again, I would add in their email and add in the link. So all that information was there. You could send them a calendar invite. All right. And then let's go ahead and say on Wednesday afternoons, I meet with my admin VA. So we'll just say weekly admin VA meeting. This is going to go under team meetings. Perfect. And then let's also say I want to go live on Instagram. We're going to do that in the morning this day. IG live. And this time we'll say this is only going to be 30 minutes. This is going to go under marketing/content. Okay. And so then you can just keep filling it in. But then what's really nice is just for your client looking at the calendar with the color coding, especially knowing, okay, this is what I have going on for client meetings this week. Here's what I have for my team meetings. Personal, here's how much personal stuff that I have going on that I need to make sure that I don't drop the ball on, and it might not just be for them. It could be for their spouse, their children, and for instance, like you could even block off time. Let's go ahead and show this. We'll block off, let's say your client's going to be traveling out of town Thursday through the weekend. And so we're going to say instead here, whoops, all day, and it's going to be Thursday through, we'll just say through Saturday. So this again would be personal. And we'll just go ahead and say travel out of office. And then in that case, then anyone who's handling the scheduling, which most likely is you wouldn't put anything on these days. All right. And you could even, if you wanted, you could just you could put a block in for that whole day as well. But even just this, it's marked as all day out of the office. So again, it's just great for your client to be able to look and see I'm assuming, most clients, they come in either Sunday night or first thing Monday morning and they open up their calendar. And it's just great to look at their week and be like, okay, here's what I have going on. It's super organized, it's color coded, nothing is overlapping. I'm not going to miss anything. And then they can come in the next day and double check and see. And again, it's just great to have it all right here in the color coding. Of course, if you're if you're any sort of type A like myself, it just makes your heart happy seeing that. So awesome. This is how you'll set up your professional calendar for your client. All right. So now we are going to switch over to inbox and email management. And so there's a couple different things that I'm going to show you here. And I've went ahead and just sent myself some mock emails from our main email. And so I'm just going to show you a couple different ways that you can organize, my favorite ways that you can organize an email inbox. So the first way is with labels. And so I'm going to go ahead and create a few labels. I'm going to call one for clients. I'm going to do another one for biz receipts to help for tax purposes. And so I'd probably create a folder for each year. And then maybe we'll have like a leads and maybe a marketing folder. And we'll just go ahead and create an admin one too. And if you wanted, you could, organize them by clicking, if you wanted admin, for instance, right under biz receipts, you could do that. Okay, so we have all those labels there. So how you move emails over to these labels, because again, the goal for your client is to create inbox zero, right? They shouldn't see a gazillion emails in here on the daily. There should be a place for every single email where nothing falls through the cracks, nothing is missed. Okay, so to get emails into these labels, so for instance, we have one here. It says sale notification. We've received a sale. This would be a biz receipt you would want to keep. So you're going to click up here, the labels button. You're going to click on biz receipts, and then you can hit the archive button, and it's going to automatically head over there, which is super nice for tax purposes. Okay, then it looks like we have a couple client emails. So information on our client, Bree. So again, I'm going to click on the label button, move her to clients, archive, and it moves that email over there. All right, we'll do the same thing. So it looks like we have another email. Because this is what I do anytime I manage an email inbox for my client. I just literally, I start from the bottom and I just move through and decide, okay, which folder does it need to go in? And this is another client. Ooh, here we have some meal prep challenge leads. So we're going to want to add those to leads. Perfect. Okay, so that's one way in which you can organize your emails, and you can even add colors too. Because again, we love to color code here. Just super fun. Okay. So there's one way. So then you never lose that. They're there. They're someplace. Okay. Now, my next favorite way to organize with email management is by using the star function in the inbox. And so I'm going to show you how to set it up and how that works. Essentially, again, it's a way for you to create inbox zero, because you can see here this email. It says question for you, and it's asking the client, hey, Coach Mel, I was wondering if you'd tell me more about your meal prep challenge. Now, you're not going to want to just go file this in a folder over here. It needs a response, right? And so if you're not the one doing the responding, if it needs a response from your client, we need to put that somewhere to alert them, right? So that's where these star function folders are amazing. So here's how you set this up. You're going to go up into settings, and we're going to want to go to, see all settings up here. And underneath inbox, we want multiple inboxes here. Okay, and so I'm going to set up 4 different folders in this star function. We're going to have an urgent, like this needs action and response right away. We're going to have a needs response one, like, okay, it's not urgent, but it does need your attention to respond to. We're going to have an awaiting response. So this is where after, say, a lead has reached out wanting more information on the meal prep challenge, we've responded to them and we're waiting for them to reply back. We'd put them in that folder. And then we're also going to have an FYI/reference. So anytime you receive something, whether it's a Google Doc that's providing information on content ideas or something that you want to refer back to later, it's going to go in that folder. Okay, so how we're going to do this is I need the exclamation point, and this is going to say urgent. And so this one is going to be how the search query is it has red bang. All right, and then this one is going to be yellow star. There we go. And this one's going to be called needs response. And so here it's going to say has yellow star. All right, awaiting reply is going to be a question mark. Oops. And this one's going to say has. I know it's a red question mark, but the query is actually purple question. And then lastly, for easy reference, it's going to be this check. Or sorry, we're going to call it FYI/reference. And this one's going to be has green check. Okay, and then I like to increase this. We're going to show 15 conversations, and you can choose where you want this. I personally like having it to the right, just because I'm so used to when I'm looking, like the emails are on, the middle left side. So you'll see what it looks like when I'm all done. But I'm going to move it to the right here, and everything else looks good. So we're going to hit Save Changes. And so then you're going to see it pop up right here. We have our urgent, needs response, awaiting response, FYI reference. And then there's one more thing I want to check in the settings. We want to make sure under the stars in general here, we want to make sure we move the star functions that we are using, the ones that are in use, up to in use. So for instance, this one is in use. And we also have the purple question mark and here we go, and the check mark. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this works here. So for instance, this one has a question about the meal prep challenge, needs a response. Now, depending on the timing of this, like say the meal prep challenge is happening literally today or tomorrow, that's pretty urgent. So I would move that to urgent. But if it's not if it's more than a few days away, I would put it in needs response. But what you do, how you can move it to the folders is this star function right here. So if you click it once, oh, and it's in that order. I want to change that. Sorry. Oops. You can see how it's going through. I want to go back to settings. I want the order to match how they are. Oops. So I want that one there. Okay, perfect. Okay, so you can see when you go to star it, if you do that, if you leave it on the red exclamation point and you hit the archive button, it's going to go under urgent. I'm just going to go ahead and take that off. Move it back to the, oops. Oh, it just went archived. Forgot that. Okay. But if you, like I said, if you wanted it in needs response, you would just click through until you got the yellow star and hit archive. And then sometimes you do have to kind of refresh it, and there it pops up there. So then when your client comes in your client's going to look under, probably one of the first things they're going to do is look under urgent and needs response. And anytime they see something there, then they'll be like, okay, I need to get to that, respond to it. And then, for instance, say this one, after they respond to it, probably going to change the star to awaiting response, right? And so that's how that works. And then they can always unstar it once it's taken care of and once it doesn't need to be in there anymore. And, as you gain more experience in the email inbox, you might be the one responding. So again, you can follow these star cues as well. Okay, so then we have another email here. This is content ideas. So this is one that would be super helpful to reference later. So you could either put that in marketing over here, or if you want it to be more visible to you over here, we can add it through the star function. So again, I'm going to click through until I see the green check mark, hit archive, and it'll be over there for me. Now, these are the examples that I gave, but you always want to talk with your client and see how they prefer. They might want different names. They might not find a waiting response as a necessity. So maybe you'll only have three. That's just a conversation you're going to want to have with your client when you bring this up to them, but they will really, really, really appreciate this organization. All right, lastly, we're going to create some email templates for the frequently asked questions because you're going to find that, and I know most clients will find they're sending a lot of the same responses, right? And so let's save 10 hours of time a week, right? By just having an email template. So, for instance, the person who's wanting more information about the meal prep challenge, you could have a email template with information on that if that's a question you get asked a lot. Or probably a common one is someone who wants to book a call with a client, right? So anyway, to create an email template, that's what we'll go ahead and create it as. You're just going to plug in the subject line, because that's what's going to end up being the title of the template. So we'll just call this book a call. And it's just going to be very generic here, but you can say hi name, and then you'll know to change this each time. Here is my booking link to chat. And then you can either, link it here. You could hyperlink it, whatever, make it look fancy, whatever it is. And looking forward to connecting with you. Coach Mel, something like that. And then when you're ready to save it, you're going to click over here. Ooh, I just realized, I think we need to make sure we got to enable these first. I just realized. So in your settings, we're going to go to advanced. We want to make sure, sorry, let me minimize that. We want to make sure templates are enabled. There we go. Now we'll be able to save this email that is hopefully still minimized. Oh, it's just in drafts. Okay. Now you can click on the three dots here for more options, and you can click go by temp, just hover over templates, hover over save draft as a new template, and then click over here as save as a new template. And then it's just going to automatically put your subject line in here, which is great. And then you can hit save. That way, anytime you want to, so I'll just go ahead and show you. I'm just going to delete it. Anytime you want to send to somebody your booking link, you'll go over here, templates, book a call, it's going to plug it in. And then you can just manually go in quick, change the name, and everything else will be the same. And make sure, of course, you have their email address, but otherwise it'll be the same. Okay, so we've created that one. Let's just go ahead and create another one. And you can create, I don't know, at least 3 just for some practice. Okay, so let's do another one. We'll just say, maybe it's like for new leads. All right, so we'll just call this meal prep challenge info. Hey, name Thank you so much for reaching out about the meal prep challenge starting in, we're just going to say September. Here's the link to learn more and get started. And again, you could either, add in the link here. Oops. Or you could, if you like highlight, you want to hyperlink there, then you could hyperlink and insert the link there. And with thanks, which Mel probably have a signature, but for this purpose, I do not. So, okay, again, we're going to come down here, templates, save draft as template, save as a new template, and save. And there we have it. One of the biggest time savers for any busy business owner. All right. Way to go, guys. All right. So we've just built a professional calendar and inbox system inside Google Workspace. Way to go. As a quick recap, we color-coded a calendar so clients can instantly see their commitments and plans for the week. We created labels and folders with the star function, so it's super easy to sort emails and keep the inbox at inbox 0. And we also set up email templates to save hours each week on repetitive communication. When you present this to a client, you could say something like, I create calendar and inbox systems that help you stay on top of opportunities, never miss an important conversation, and free up your focus for the work that actually grows your business. My systems save you hours every week, eliminate the stress of constant email chaos, and ensure every client interaction feels professional and seamless. For certification, take screenshots of your finished calendar and your inbox setup with labels, folders, and at least one email template. Refer below this training video for exact instructions on how to submit your project. Pro tip for you. When working with real clients, always, always, always confirm their preferred categories, labels, and tone of voice for email templates before you set things up. That way, the system feels custom made for them. Awesome job. You should be so proud of yourself.